Hey guys, I'm going to do a quick video here right before my morning workout. I was exchanging last week as I was traveling back some email conversations, Reddit chat about simplifying the sales order project creation. I thought they were looking for something, so I did another video that I posted this past weekend. Sorry, I posted yesterday. But turns out that they were looking for something else. So I'm going to wrap up. There's going to be an addendum, I guess, to the previous video where we're going to expand on some of the things that we did there. Hopefully it ends up being a quick one. And let's just drive right into it. So here we go, back on my same environment, sharing my screen. There we go. So one of the things that I showed in the videos, both this one and the original sales order to projects, is that you can create projects off the sales order. The reason why we want to do this is so that from a reporting perspective, we can get a 360-degree view of the final order that was requested, the final invoice that was created, both the invoice that was created for any billing that has to happen in advance, that is any kind of prepaid labor, that's any kind of hardware that's being ordered from the project. And then we can take that and map it down to the individual projects that are created. And by doing that, we can actually tie that to labor and labor invoices that are happening after. So we can get like an entire view of the project from beginning to end, from the point the opportunity even comes in, because the sales order itself is actually tied to the opportunity as well. So we can really build a full picture of what's going on financially with this project, from time entries and predictions of how much time would have been needed and how off we were on our estimates, and all kinds of other cool things that we can do when we have that kind of data. So one of the questions was like, what if I have a sales order that has a bunch of line items on it and I don't want them to be individually, I don't want them to be like 6 different projects or even 50 different projects, depending on how many that you have. I also don't want to have to go and click the button 6 times or 50 times or something like that either. So what can we do to make that work? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update some of the various things in the system right now. This is not out of the box configuration. We're going to have to make some tweaks, and I'll show you how it all comes together at the end. And that way you know how to set it up for yourself, and how you want to do this moving forward. Unfortunately, some of the things that we're going to change are global settings, and so they will impact globally. You'll have to think creatively to figure out how we can adjust the behavior so that it applies for every situation, regardless of whether we're doing a project where it's a large project or whether we're doing a bunch of small tasks. So we're going to take the example of setting up a new computer, if that's okay. And we're going to take that example and we're going to say, this is what we want to do for a computer setup. So with this computer setup, we're going to take a actual desktop to configure. We're going to also set up a couple monitors. And we'll have 2 monitors, a desktop, we'll have a webcam, maybe a sound system. And we're just trying to build out a sales order where we map templates to products that'll actually come out with the whole project intact, if that makes sense. So for that situation, what we need to do is we need to go to our items and make sure we have an item for every one of those. So let's go to our products, which in this case, in this system, is called products. I'm in the UK language pack right now. We're going to go to all products just so we can quickly see them all and see if we've got something for like workstation. We do, and it is serialized. That's good. So what if we have, do we have like a camera? Nope. We have a monitor. We have a monitor. It's also serialized. And do we have speakers? Let's see if I can type. Nope. No speakers and no camera. So we're gonna go to the non-serialized. We're not gonna serialize our speakers or camera. And we're going to do a camera here. We'll do that non-serialized, consignable, no linked asset. And we'll come back to this and we'll hit save. And then what we'll end up doing is we're going to go and add in a sound speakers, right? We'll add it into sound system, requires setup or something like that. We can even do like 5.1 surround sound. Right, and so that way it's like a bit of a complex sound setup, so it requires a project of some kind. All right, so now that we've got our product set up here, we're going to go and actually jump into our configuration, and we want to build a template. So let's go take a look at our templates. Now, With templates, there are two kinds. There's child templates and ticket templates. If you're building a parent-child template where you have a list of tasks or list of children being created at the time of the templates being created, you know, I should actually find one. Here we go. Set up and use hardware. Nope, I lied there too. Wow. Site scoping, maybe. Come on. Nope. I am like 0 for 0 here. Onboard a new customer. There we go. Here. Perfect. That was not over. It was like 0 for 5. All right. Now we're at 1 to 6. All right. So you can see that you can map existing templates into the parent template so that when you create the parent template, the child templates get created as well. Otherwise, without this, what would end up happening is that instead the values here will be applied to the parent. And that actually works either way. So if I apply this to a ticket, the values here will be applied to the ticket, and this will be applied to the ticket, and the children will be created under that ticket. It's not going to create a new child ticket underneath the existing ticket you're applying it to. So that's something that we want to keep in mind, because the behavior will impact what we want. And you know, this may not be the best behavior. You may want to go back to Halo and say, hey, can we adjust this a little bit, or maybe provide some options inside the template on how it should be applied. But there are a couple of values here that we want to call out. So notice show to end user. By default, if you're using these templates, this is set to no. However, likely if you're doing something that where the user has self-service portal access, and they want to be able to see the projects and product tasks and things like that, just come here and modify that to either yes to override the default value, or have it go to the default, which pulls it from the ticket type level at that point. Did I run into another bug? No. Okay, that worked. All right, so now what we're going to do is we want to build out templates, right? And we want to build out parent templates, not child templates, because in order to map it to an item, it has to be a parent template. So we want to build out parent templates of individual things that we need to do in order for this to work. So we're going to come in here. We're going to say, let's do setup camera. This will be a project task, generally speaking. We'll do the values of project type, ticket type here, and we can do things that can be help desk stuff. You can build a new ticket type for help desk to do something. I'm going to do project task in this case, but this is completely customizable. And here we're going to start filling in the values that need to happen. We need to install camera for user at area. Now I'm not double checking these variables. I don't know if they're going to work or not. But if it does work, great. If not, you may want to like adjust the string to actually do something that will work so that it's relevant when it's obvious when you see the title, what it's for. And here we're going to put in some steps that we need to make sure that we're going to do. We're going to unpack the camera, install it on in an appropriate place. Screen mounting maybe. And then we're going to install drivers, verify with the user that the camera is working in the apps they need. We're not going to set anything else here at this point. We can do estimated time if we wanted. We can say this shouldn't take more than 30 minutes. And then we can go through and we're just going to, you know, you can set up budgets and additional agents if you want to at this point. We can override the budgets table and add to the budgets table if we wanted to. But we're not going to do any of that stuff. This is just options for you to consider as you go through this. You can also add to-dos at this point. And of course, you can if you wanted to create a parent-child-grandchild relationship, you can have children to create those grandchildren at this point. But we're just going to do that. We're going to set up camera. We're going to also do set up sound system. And we're going to do the same thing here, project tasks, values. This will be a task. And we're going to do install sound system for user at area. And we're just going to say, we're going to unpack speakers, find optimal position for the surround sound, cable to the computer, verify sound with Dolby Digital, or whatever. Again, this is completely up to you. I'm just doing this as an example. All right, moving forward, we're going to come back here we've got two other things that we need to do, right? What did we say? We're going to install the monitors, we're going to install the workstation, we're going to install a camera, and we're going to install the speakers. Okay, so I've got my speakers, I've got my camera. There's a PC laptop installation task here. Can I just use this? It's already a project task. It's got a summary of PC laptop installation. It doesn't have any children. It's got some to-dos, which I'm okay with. I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to update this a little bit. For user at area, we're just going to try to keep that consistent. And we're going to do the details of follow to-dos, right? Because there's to-dos there already on the details tab. And then at that point, we're just going to say, what's on the to-do list? Yeah. Clean up, replacement machine, and adjust contract numbers, right? Hopefully your contract numbers are being done automatically by your RMM synced to Halo anyways. But in any case, just in case it's not, we can set that as a required task. And again, I'm going to keep saying this. This is an example of things, not anything else. This is PC laptop installation. And then finally, we just need to set up the monitors, if that makes sense. So we're going to do a final template. I don't see one here. So we're going to do a final template for set up a dual display with, let's just say set up monitors. Actually, it's going to be the name of the template. And we'll do that as a project task. And then here we'll do set up monitors for user at area. And then we will say configure dual display for optimal viewing. And we're going to save that. Another failure. Okay. All right. So we've got our 4 templates, I think, if I'm tracking correctly. I don't really know how to count. So if it's not 4, then just forgive me. And then we're going to map these to items. We're going to come back here and we're going to say, well, we've got our camera. And we're going to edit this. And we're going to say this template goes to camera. Boom. And we're going to save that. Now we can set a budget type at this point. I'm not going to. We're just going to keep it simple, and then we can expand it if you want based off, again, just experiment as you try things around. Here we've got our sound system, and so we're going to set up a sound system. We've then got our monitors, camera, speakers. Where was the monitor? It was under serialized item, maybe? Let's come back here. There we go, monitor. So we'll do our monitor, we'll come back here and we'll edit this project template to be set up monitors. And then finally, we'll go to our workstation, which probably already has a template set up because some of the stuff is out of the box. PC laptop installation, right? So that was the template that was out of the box that we just adjusted slightly for them to use. And so we don't have to touch that, if that makes sense. All right, so we're in good shape. We've got our items mapped. We've got our the templates. We've got our template set up. We can go through our quote. We're going to skip the opportunity part. We already saw multiple versions of this, and I think I went a little bit overboard. So we're just going to jump straight from quote to sales order. Before we do that, we're going to go and take a look at our general sales order configuration. So we're going to search configuration for sales order, and we're going to look at some of these settings here. All right. Right here, we can select what project. So if you saw in the previous videos, we can actually create project from item or add to project and create child tickets. When you're doing add to project, create child tickets, we can actually set which projects you want to be visible at the point of attaching to your project. So we can just show all the customer products or show the projects created at the sales order level only. So that way it's all contained to that sales order. That's controllable from here. The from address is pretty self-explanatory. We're going to skip that. Here we've got sales order parent project template. So what we can do is if the template is set here, any product which creates a project directly will be placed as a child project of this template. So we're going to go back and we're going to set this to standard projects, and we're going to take a look at what that template looks like in a moment. Other than that, we can do some sales order status things. And we also have the ability to automatically create products when a project template is set at item level and the item is added to a sales order. Wow. Okay, so this means, theoretically speaking, that at the point of creating the sales order, it can automatically generate the projects, put it under the parent project, and so we can have one project with the entire sales order, and that project is made up of all the individual templates that's underneath that sales order. Let's see how this works in practice, and then we're basically done. We're going to come here. we're going to go to quotes and we're going to create a new quote. We'll set this quote details to Acorn Construction. I don't know, somebody here. Give me a real person's name. Ben Castle, Acorn Construction, and we'll do it under the main site. Now, normally this quote will have come through from a new user. Well, actually, it's replacement hardware for existing user. And let's say, okay, so normally this quote would have come from an opportunity, and so the ticket ID would be set. We're skipping that in this point because we're going to go straight to the ad hoc quote we're going to create. And we're going to add a bunch of items here. So we're going to go through and we're going to create some, let's search for serialized. It should get us both our non-serialized and serialized groups. And we're going to add a monitor. We're going to add two monitors, actually. We're going to add a workstation and a speaker surround sound. We're going to add one of those and a camera. Where's our camera? Up here. We're going to add a camera. We're going to set some prices here. 150 for the camera, about 350 for the speakers, and then the workstation is 600. The monitors are 200. All right, it's probably a little underpriced and pricing is not exactly accurate, but that's okay. And we're going to go through and populate all these things. We're going to save. And that's basically it. We're going to go through and save this at this point. Okay. So I'm going to go through and send this quote. I'm not actually going to send it. I'm just going to sign it for, actually, let's go check something here. There's another setting that we can do that will create the sales order automatically in the event the quote is signed. We're going to check that box, assign new sales order agent that created it, adjust the price of lines rather than the quantity and create an invoice. I don't care about that. Let's see, under quotations, maybe. Sure, we want to hide expired quotes from the self-service portal. And then we want to where is the setting? Automatically create sales order when quotation is approved. All right. And then let's go through and we're not going to send this email for real. Obviously, it's not a real email address, but we can grab that link, open it up. And because secure signing is not enabled, which we saw over here, secure quote signing is not turned on, I should be able to just come in here, load the PDF, see the total of what we're selling in terms of services. We're just going to accept that. And we're just going to draw a signature and submit. Okay, now if everything worked through all the way through, what should happen is at the point of accepting that quote, a sales order should be created automatically. That sales order should have then generated the projects for install and setup at this point in time. Now we may still have to go invoice the sales order. There's probably still some other things we have to do, such as creating the POs and ordering the hardware and so on and so forth. But by doing that, what you can do is you can include those in your project steps. The project gets created immediately, have that assigned out to procurement first, or whoever's going to be processing that sales order first, and then just transfer the project around based off tasks that need to happen, or send some tasks to the procurement and some tasks to the project team using some rule creations at that point. So let's go through and actually refresh this page. I'm going to X this out. I'm going to reload this. We should see that the quote has been accepted. We got the thumbs up. We have a sales order attached automatically. That's not sales order 9. We open that up and we can see that the projects all exist: 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, and 4, 6 for each individual item. If I jump into one of those projects, what we can now see is that there's a parent project automatically associated to it called standard project. And I can open that up and we should be able to see all the existing tasks. It looks like they're in 3 different things. I'm not sure why. Maybe because of 2 different ticket types that I selected. I think I actually potentially did it. Yeah, this is incident. So one of the templates I set up was actually incorrect. I forgot to change the ticket type from incident to project tasks. But other than that, you can see the there's 4 different tasks here for the 4 items that we've quoted, right? We've quoted monitor, workstation, speakers, and camera. And underneath the main project, we've got the monitor, and we've got the computer, speakers, and camera. And again, user, $user is not really set because that's not really a real variable, but it should have been Ben Castle if I had set it to the right variable, or again, you can come up with whatever variable that you want. We can see that $area properly expanded into the Acorn Construction client. And now if we go to the products view, which is over here, I reorganized some of my buttons, and then look at, for example, all tasks. Well, let's go to the project board. Let's see, let's just go to all projects by status. Oh, interesting. They added a master projects filter profile. Okay. So here, open projects, we can see the tasks and the projects combined. If we go to master projects, I think that's just focusing on the parent. I wonder what that filter profile looks like. I'm going off the rails again. This is the first time I'm going off the rails. Interesting. Oh yeah, it's looking at the parent, at the ticket type being project versus project task. Yeah, okay. And so the standard project is there, and then it's got the tasks underneath it, just as we demonstrated. And again, from a level of clicking perspective, there wasn't much for us to do. We created the quote, we sent the quote, and they accepted the quote, and the product was automatically created, and the sales order was automatically created based off the configurations that we had changed. So it just needs some bit of setup in the beginning, and then all this can flow through very quickly. I hope this is helpful to you and helps you improve your processes. Let me know if you have any further questions and what else I can show on the videos. I'm always happy to help. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.